So far we've been returning plain text from our handlers, but in this one we're going to have a look at how you can return JSON from the handlers. And so what we'll be doing is we'll be taking something like a struct, encoding it as JSON, setting the correct headers, and then returning it as a JSON encoded response. So we've already done a little bit of this because in a previous one we looked at JSON tags and how tags control the JSON key names for the JSON encoded data which gets sent back. And so a quick refresh on that. This is what a user struct would look like, and we can sort of set the names for the fields like so. Okay, so let's use that as our starting point. We are listening on port 8080 using listen and serve, so all stuff that we've done before. Next, let's have a user's endpoint and a handler. So again, using http handle func, the endpoint will be users, and the handler is just an anonymous function. 2 arguments. This is the standard signature for a route handler. It will be response writer and also a request pointer. Okay, so we'll initialize a user. Then what we want to do is we start to think about how we're going to encode this, set headers, etc., and send back a response. So we can set headers using methods on the response writer. So here I can say W, meaning our response writer header, and then off of that I can chain on set. So as you can see, the header method simply returns a header, which is a map. So a map with string keys and string values. And so let's set a key and value using set. The way we do that is with 2 arguments, the first one being the key and the second one being the actual value. So here we are setting a content type header to application JSON. And so we're telling the client that this content is in application JSON format. Okay, now previously we used JSON marshal to encode our JSON, but this time we're going to use something different. And this can return an error. So we'll say error equals JSON, and we want new encoder. This will take our writer. That will give us back an encoder, and then on there what we want to do is encode. What are we encoding? We're going to encode our user. And so this time, instead of calling JSON marshal and then writing the bytes manually, what we're using here is new encoder encode, and what this will do is it will write the JSON directly to the response, and it also handles formatting and writes a new line at the end. So this is perfect for what we need. Before we go any further, let's just handle that error. So if the error does not equal nil, what we want to do here is we just want to send back an error response. Something's gone wrong, we need to let the client know. So we can use a handy function on the HTTP package called error. And what this does, it just does it all in one go. And it's perfect for sending back error responses. So when you call HTTP error, you're still using the same response writer that the handler received. Nothing's happening behind the scenes. HTTP error simply calls methods on the writer for you. So it will set the status code, for example 500. It'll set the content type header. For errors, that will be set to plain text, and then it writes your message string to the response body. So the client's going to get a normal HTTP response, a status line, headers, and the body. The only difference is that the status will say that this is an error. So what we need is 3 arguments. You need the writer, we need a message, we'll say that we've failed to encode JSON. We also need a status. So we can use a constant on the HTTP package. There's a bunch of these. You'll start with the word status. The one we want is this one, status 500 internal server error. So we're just going to look at that. As you can see, big list of constants. Just choose the one you want. So rather than using random magic numbers, you can actually use something with a bit of semantic meaning, and it will evaluate behind the scenes to the actual status code. Now when we do this, we want to make sure that we do not go any further. So when you write an error response like this, something which I often forget, but always make sure that you put a return statement just below that, and that will make sure that it does not go any further and you don't get random errors. Okay, now something that you'll notice here, and something which struck me when I first started learning Go, is there's nowhere where we are explicitly returning a response here. So what's going on? How does the response get sent? So you don't call send anywhere. Writing to the response writer is the sending. So the server is using the writer as the connection to the client. So when you call header set, you're setting headers on that response. When you write to the writer directly or via encode, you're writing the body. So when your handler returns, what happens is that the server takes whatever you've put in the writer, status, headers, body, and it sends it back over the network to the client. So if we take these lines here, when we don't have any errors, then the flow is we set the content type, then encode writes the JSON to the writer. That buffer is the response body. And when the handler finishes, the server sends that response with the status back to the client. So the sending is done by the HTTP server after your handler returns, using everything that was written to the writer. Okay, so shall we try this out? Go run main.go. My server is now listening. We go to localhost 8080/users, and as you can see, here is my JSON. So unless you've got some kind of Chrome extension, which I have, then you'll probably see raw JSON like this. I have a Chrome extension or various JSON Chrome extensions like JSON Formatter, and so in that scenario or using those tools, I can actually see it nicely parsed and laid out like JSON, like so. Okay, so attached to this lesson, there's a little bit of extra information, stuff like setting the content type headers, encoding directly to the response using Encode, and also how to handle encoding errors, which is stuff that we've kind of done. And this is stuff that we do in the Build Your First Go app course, because in that course, we create a realistic API which uses all of these techniques, and you get to learn, or you get to put all the stuff that you learn here in Go Bytes together in one course. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link down in the description. But now let's have a challenge using the stuff that you've just learned. So write a program that defines a product struct, so you can use your JSON tags on that. Register a product route, set the content type header to application JSON, encode a product using json.NewEncoder encode, and then return a 500 status. If encoding fails, verify the JSON output in the browser. So just using, or just doing the same kind of thing, except with a different kind of struct really. Pretty sure you can do this. Pause me now and give that a go. All right, so I've worked ahead a little bit because this is the kind of stuff that we've already done a couple of times now. I've created a product struct. I've given it JSON tags. So these are the names that I've given to each of these fields. And then we have a server listening and serving, and we've also defined our first handler. So this is going to handle any requests to this product endpoint. Then what we need to do is we need to initialize a product. The way I can do that is like so. Then using methods on the writer, we can set our headers. We want to encode our product. So using methods on the JSON package, what we're going to do is we're going to get a encoder, and you'll see this returns us a encoder pointer, which takes a writer, and off of which we can call encode, passing in whatever we want to encode as JSON. In this case, it is our product. We need to check that error. So if the error does not equal nil, then what we want to do is write a error response and also make sure that we return so that we do not go any further. Now in this scenario, there's no actual code which comes after that bit apart from the listen and serve. But you might have other handlers which are a little bit more complex, a little bit more sophisticated, various logic paths which do have extra functionality or more logic which comes after this point here. So that's why it's important, if you've hit an error, just put your return in there, and then you don't start modifying content which has already been written and which should be returned. Okay, so I think we've got everything there. Let's go and stop the server, start again, and in the browser I'm going to visit product, and as you can see, we see our product. So you'll probably see it as raw JSON like so. I'll use my parser and it'll format it for me quite nicely. Okay, so there you've seen a fairly standard way of returning JSON responses in Go. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Give the video a like. Make sure you subscribed if you want YouTube to keep showing you more Go Bytes, and I'll see you in the next one.